welcome to episode 7 of the Arya Bark Podcast. My name is Caroline and I'm coming to you today from my home in Fife in Scotland. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's been a while. I'm going to apologise just now. My eye is twitching. Don't know why. Now that's probably why my eyes twitching. I've got two different sets of glasses. One's normal glasses and one's very focals. And it's something to do with my eyes twisting and twitching and whatever. So if this suddenly starts twitching, I apologise. I will try to stop it, but it doesn't normally work. So we'll jump straight into admin. You can, all the details, all the links will be linked down below. You can find detailed show notes at the Arya Bark website, which is aryabark.co.uk. You can find me on Ravelry as Arya Bark, or my personal Ravelry account, which is Sultra. We have a Ravelry group, which is under the groups tab on Ravelry, which is Arya Bark Designs. I've also set up a free group on the website. You do have to log in, because seriously we're not wanting trolls or random folk posting messages. More on that later. And that's under, it's either the groups tag or communities. I think I changed something and I genuinely can't remember which one it is. You can find me on Instagram as Arya Bark Designs, and we have a Facebook page which is Arya Bark Designs, and I don't use it. I occasionally post links, but Facebook is not my friend. The new Things Make Along 2020 has now ended, and we have a winner. We will have one winner because only one person entered, but it was a worthy one. I'll stick a picture in of the prize, and the winner is Jane from Mouse Knits and Crafts. Now, I know for a fact she has got the prize, because she's the one that sent me the picture. Now, I've set up a thread for 2 make-alongs. I'm going to redo the new Things make-along for 2021. And that started on the 1st of January. It's a year-long make-along, so it will end on the 31st of December. Now for the rules, of which there's not very many. You do have to be a member of either the Ravelry group or the Arya Bark private group, for those who kind of use Ravelry. We're going to have quarterly prizes. The draws will be done. Now, we've worked out if I do this every Monday, the draws will be on the 29th of March, the 28th of June, the 27th of September, with the final one being on the 3rd of January. Sorry, I thought it was a hiccup there. There will be physical prizes drawn from the finished object thread and the chatter thread, and that will be drawn by random number generator. Mr. Bark and Andrew will choose an entry every month, and the winner of that will receive a pattern prize of your choice. Now, I don't know if they're each going to pick one or whether they're going to do it alternative months. Each month somebody, one or maybe the both of them, will pick an entry that they like, and that person will win a prize. There we go. like the last make along, what I'm going to do, so I can join in, is I'm just going to keep a spreadsheet of everybody that enters, and I'll just random number generate that. That way, obviously the finished object thread will still be no chatter, but the chatter thread will just put everybody in, and that way I can take myself out. You can enter as many projects as you like, as long as you can show how it's new to you. So if you want to knit 6 million hats, 6 million entries, as long as it's not the same hat. So here's where I'm not going to be the make along police. It can be yarn brand, company, indie designer, indie dyer, colourway, technique, construction. I don't care. As long as it's new. Obviously, the premise has to be that it's you learning something new or trying something new. So that's about it. The second make along is named by Mr. Bark himself, which is the Stash Mash 2021. I think I might have actually called that last make along 2020. It's not, it's 2021. Again, same rules as the last time. Starts in January, finishes in December. You have to be a member of either one of the groups or both. Don't really mind. Prizes are going to be drawn on the 29th, the 28th, 27th and 3rd of January. Physical prizes for the charter thread and the finished objects thread. One or both of them, don't know, haven't quite worked that out. WIPs are allowed. In the Stash Mash, WIPs are permitted. WIPs are permitted in both of them, I don't care. As long as you can measure your project in meters, you can enter it. So, knitting, crochet, Tunisian crochet, spinning, weaving, cross stitch, can you measure that in meters? If you can measure your cross stitch in meters, enter it. You set your own totals. So for me, my total for this year will be 26. My goal for this year is to craft 26,000 meters from my stash. You can increase and decrease your goal as you wish. And I said inclusivity, you can take it however long. Obviously I was going to say up till a certain date, but let's be honest, my memory is shocking. I probably won't remember by the end of this podcast that I've actually said that you can only increase and decrease till whenever. So we'll just say whenever. You can increase, decrease, your choice. There will only be one FO thread. Thread? It's not a thread, it's a post. Each person will have one FO thread, and you'll just keep editing that thread. Thread again. Post. Edit that post to add your stuff in. I think that was it. Was that it? Probably not. Any questions? Ask in the chat thread. We'll sort that out. So that's it. What do we have this week? This week we have coming in, an unexpected coming in. Going out, I've got my Stash Mash start up. There'll be whips and they'll be lined up. We have knitting, Tunisian crochet, spinning and weaving. Timestamps for each section can be found in the description box below. Is that it? Oh, update on the bird feeder. Oh, it's turning into a full-time job. We are getting a ton of birds on the bird feeder. To the point, I think I had about 2-3 days where I didn't have to fill it. Now I have to fill it every morning. The birds are getting brazen. Bobby the robin is no longer waiting until I leave to come eat off it. He is now eating it while I'm standing. Arya is having to do regular cat patrols, albeit it's in the middle of the garden. Cats are hiding in bushes, so every now and again when we notice that there's a cat, Arya gets sent out and chases them. Hey, you're on birdie protection, aren't you? You're in the huff. Hey, you're in the huff, aren't you? So, on to coming in. As some of you will know, for Christmas, Ryan bought me an Ashford 32-inch rigid heddle loom for my Christmas with all its bits and stuff. Now, Ashford tell you to treat the wood. Neither one of us know how to do it, so now what had happened, I think Ryan had phoned his aunt and asked her if his uncle knew what would be the best thing to buy to treat it. Ryan's uncle is a carpenter. That's what he done when he left school. He's been doing it. He's actually retired now. He makes some amazing stuff, and he had offered to give us stuff to treat her. My concern is she wasn't like hugely, she wasn't my e-spinner expensive, but she was quite a lot of money. Neither of us knew what we were doing, so Ryan had said, well, actually I think he offered Ryan, if you're wanting I can do it, and I had said, well, I'd rather he done it than we done it and wrecked it. Now obviously it comes flat packed and you build it yourself. My pulls weren't brilliant for getting them back off, so Ashley, I'll stick a picture in. I don't know if I've got a picture of her before she went, but I'll definitely stick a picture in of what she looked like when she came back. Ashley went to stay with Auntie Gracie and Uncle Jim for, I think we dropped her off on Sunday and she was back, was it Thursday? The Wednesday or the Thursday she was back like really, really quick. And she looks amazing. She smells absolutely gorgeous. Now when I dropped her off, obviously the instructions and the, what was in that bag? I think the instructions and the Ashford catalogue was in the wee plastic wallet. And obviously we'd been talking and he mentioned how he's planning on making a spinning wheel. I've got dibs on that. And he'd been looking through, and we happened to mention that obviously I'm waiting on the table coming back into stock so that I can buy the table for her because trying to work on her is a bit of a nightmare. So we picked her up, and he very kindly offered, rather than me buy a table for her, he's took her measurements and he's going to make me a table that she'll sit on. Now, obviously as part of my Christmas, Ryan had bought the voucher. Now, the voucher was to cover, at the time I bought the loom, the table and the fringe twister were both out of stock. I've since bought the fringe twister, that came back into stock. The table's still not in stock. Jim did say obviously his workshop's out in the garden. It's not a heated workshop, it's basically a shed with all his, it's more than a shed, but it's got all his tools and everything in it, but it's not heated. So he did say I will need to wait a couple of months until it starts heating up, which in all honesty I wasn't in any major rush for the table anyway. I can still use my loom and it's lovely. So he's going to make the table. He's also offered to make me all the shuttles and everything that I needed, which left me with a little quandary because I had quite a bit of money sitting on a voucher where all the sale. The only other thing I could have bought was wool or fibre. Now I need neither of them at all. So I was having to think about what I could buy. I do love my 32 inch, however it takes quite a bit of work to warp her. My back is dodgy at the best of times, so being hunched over trying to warp her, I think I get about three or four in and it's like, right, I need to sit down for half an hour. So 9 times out of 10, the last I've warped her, this will be the third time she's been fully warped. Well, not fully warped, but warped. And only one of them did I try to do myself and only got a third of the way in and was like, Ryan, you're going to have to come and help me. So, I may have possibly bought another loom. I bought a 10 inch samplet loom, which is a smaller one, mostly for practicing on. I bought the 5, it comes with a 7.5 headle. I bought a 5, a 10, a 12.5 and a 15 dent reed to go with it. Ryan's uncle's going to make me up shawls, but I think that comes with 2. So did get the order confirmations. Did get the confirmation this morning that it has now been sent out, so I should have it by the end of the week. So that's what I've got coming in. I am not buying any more yarn or fibre until I've made a dent in my stuff. My stash is getting out of hand. And obviously I did buy some cones for weaving with, and I'm still going to weave with them, but I think I'm needing to curb the whole buying of yarn. I'm not going to say I'm not buying any more yarn, because let's face it, that's never ever going to happen. I'm just purposely not going to buy unless I actually need it. On to going out. The first project is the Tunisian blanket. Now, so I've still got the 100 square block for Vlogmas. Now, where had I got to for this? I have no idea. That's 106. Now, block 107, which is this one, and that's Rusty Ferret Doll, and it's a mini skein. The next one is 108, which is that one, and that was day 16 of the Advent swap. Is that right? Day 17 of the Advent swap. 18, day 19, day 20 is Mothie and the Squid Distant Galaxies, and that's stunning. How sparkly is that? Day 21 and day 22, and they're all from my Advent swap part. Mind blank. My Advent swap partner Raylene, and that was organised by Jane of Mouse Knits and Crafts. I've not put in day 23 or day 24, that's sitting on my desk. I got a little bit carried away with the weaving and getting toes and stuff sorted, so I'm going to be getting back into making this. So that is done on a 4.5 Knit Pro Symphony Tunisian hook, and I'm just going to keep adding scraps to it and hopefully end up with a blanket. The next project that is finished is Mr. Bark's absolutely massive cowl. It has softened up a bit. He thinks it's fine. I still find it quite prickly, and it's based off the Sockhead Cowl by Kelly McClure. I'll stick a little card up there. Now, I use 2 4-ply yarns held together. The blue Marley stuff is King Craig Fabrics 4-ply, and it's a 86% lambswool, 14% nylon, and oh, that smells nice. And you got 580 meters in that 100-gram ball. The other yarn that I held with it was the Drops Fable 4-ply in shade 108, which was royal blue. That's a 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and you get 205 meters in a 50-gram ball. I used a 4mm Knit Pro Zing for the ribbon and a 4.5 for the cowl. Did I mark how much I used? No, I didn't. If you are interested in how much I used, I would look at Vlogmas Day 31 when I put that up, because it will tell you exactly how much I used for it. So Mr. Bark is very happy with that. Next finished object I don't have because the milkman has it, is his hat. I'll stick a picture in here. It is pattern 208-2, which is Sun in the City by Drops Designs. Didn't make any modifications to it at all, done as the pattern said, which for me is a shocker. I used Jarrow Heritage Mist DK, shade number 8, which is black, and that is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. You get 300 meters in a 100-gram ball, and I used a 3mm Knit Pro Zing. The milkman loves his hat. It's just a basic ribbed hat, and it's, when you're doing it in black wool, it's not exactly exciting, but he likes it, so that's that one. The next project is Mr. Bark's Milkman's hat, which is actually hurt here. My foam head. He's got a bit of a sore face. He's got a seriously sore face because Arya loved him with her big swishy tail, and she's dented all his forehead and gave him a bit of a slash in the face. So this is, looks like it's buttered hair, but I can't see anything on it, is the hat. I did offer to put a pom-pom on it for him. He said no thank you. So that is his hat. It is again the Sun in the City by Drops Design. This time I used King Cole Majestic DK, and it's colour number 2640, and it's black. Now this is a 50% wool, 30% acrylic, 20% nylon, and you get 121 metres in a 50-gram ball. Now, if you watch Vlogmas, I'm going to sit that down because the sound of the polystyrene hanging. Now, if you watch Vlogmas, you will know, and I've got the balls here, I bought two balls of Jarrow Heritage DK. That one hasn't been used, that one's had to be rewound. I had mentioned at the time that it seemed really, really thin. Now, the reason I thought it felt really, really thin was because not once, but twice on two different yarns, I used the wrong size needle. It is definitely a 3mm needle. I now have two balls of this. Andrew's wanting one, so I have to make another one. And everybody knows I hate making projects more than once. 3's about my limit. Nobody else is getting a milkman hat after this. I did have it. That's the other colour that I planned to use, which was the Drops Lima. So maybe make Mr. Bark another one, and that's in my bag that Jane got me for my Christmas. My wee lamaflage pin. So Mr. Bark has his hat, and there's wool there to make another one. Next on to weaving. My first project, obviously I've done the test, that was an epic disaster. I don't know why I cut my fringe. I got a bit snip happy and cut my fringe. Actually it wasn't, I had long edges on one end, but I didn't leave enough at the bottom, so that's how my fringe was a bit short, so that just got lobbed in the bin because I couldn't save it. So my second project was this, and this was supposed to be a fringe bag, and it's from the Rigel. I'll leave a thing up because I can't remember the name of the actual class, but it was by Deborah Jarkow. I think it's Jarkow. I'll leave details. And it's on Craftsy. It was supposed to be a fringe bag, obviously you get the dimensions for it, and I knew for a fact, obviously I was wanting a bag for keeping my sleigh reed, my sleigh hook and scissors and other stuff together. So I did it wider so that my scissors would fit in. And then I got bored halfway through. So it's now a placemat. It's a lovely little placemat. It uses... Now this is yarn that I got from Jane, and it's Adrifil Mistero, which is a bulky, and it's number 48. This one's 48. This one I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I think I done blocks. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I think I've done blocks of 10 all the way up. So that's that. It has been washed. It's really... It has softened up quite a bit. So it's a lovely little mat. I think what I'll do is I'll stick it... I'll use it for when we're out in the garden sitting. And I'll put it on... I'll stick it on the table in the garden when we're out there. The other yarn that I used is Drops Muscat, which is DK, and it's shade number 4, which is Lilac. Now the Adrifil is 53% wool, 47% acrylic, and you get 90 metres in a 50 gram ball. The Muscat is 100% cotton, and you get 100 metres in 50 grams, and I used a 7.5 heddle. There's a bit that sits in the middle of that sentence, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. So this took 230 metres. This was my first finished object of 2021, and I'm really pleased with it. So that starts off my totals. Now I need to do some jiggery pokery. Stash Smash 2021. Now my goal for this year is to craft 26,000 metres. Last year, I can't remember what my actual total was for last year. It was either the top end of 25,000 or it was actually 26. Can't actually remember, but it was round about there. So my goal for this year is to craft 26,000 metres. Now for that 26,000 metres I'm going to be spinning, weaving, doing some crochet, Tunisian crochet and knitting. Other crafts may come in there, but I won't be cross stitching because I've done that phase and I don't think my eyesight could take it. But those are the ones that I've chosen. The one thing that I have just realised that I didn't mention is what constitutes as stash. Now I know there is a lot of make-alongs where you're not allowed to use, or you don't include stash that you've just brought in. To me, the minute I pay for that and I receive that stash, it's stash. It's in my house, it's taking up room. I'm going to have to watch that the cat's on the line on it. I'm going to have to watch that Arya doesn't eat it. So it's stash. The other thing I would say, now I think I mentioned it in Vlogmas, Ryan's Aunt Knits. She doesn't do garments. She doesn't do adult garments. She doesn't make blankets or anything like that. She likes to knit baby cardigans. She knits. She doesn't do it prolifically, but she will, when she feels like it, she'll knit a baby cardigan, and it gets donated to the Special Care Baby Unit at the local hospital. What she has left, she keeps in a plastic bag, and every few months I will get this back. She'll go, oh, well, I remember, here's some wool. She doesn't have a stash. She doesn't have anywhere to keep a stash. And sometimes it is hard to remember when your house is full of yarn that there is some people who just don't have stashes. So to turn around and say, yeah, you can only use stash for last year, for somebody who doesn't have a stash, they won't be able to enter. So I don't care. You can choose whatever goal you like. If you decide that you're only going to use the stash from, I don't know, last year back, that's your choice. If you don't have a big stash and you're a new maker, join it. If it's in your possession, it's your stash. Off you pop. So that is my plan. Obviously, so far I've added 213 meters. That came across a wee bit more ranty than I actually intended it to be. So back to Sash Mash. So my goal is 26,000 meters. I will be knitting, weaving, spinning, crocheting, should I say crochet. If I learn a new technique here and there that counts for it, I'll probably add that as well. So far I've used 213 meters. I started with nothing because clearly it's the beginning of the year, so it didn't start raining. I haven't added anything, and I'm seriously hoping that I managed to last. I was about to say a month. Now, here's the thing. I said earlier I wasn't purposely buying more yarn. Now, I know for a fact I emailed a wool shop and asked for 10 balls of zigzag. That shop hasn't got bang touch, so technically I haven't bought it yet. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy yarn, because let's face it, it's never ever going to happen. But I'm only going to buy for a specific purpose. And zigzag is sock yarn. I need new bits for this year's Advent swap. That's my excuse, and I am so sticking to it. I need to buy new yarn, new sock yarn for the Advent swap. That's how I'm going to justify that. So, please enter. It will be a year long, make long, and that's it. So, on to WIPs now. Apart from the weaving where I filled in a hole, and then obviously doing my toes, I have so many WIPs, it's not even funny. When I was doing the end of year toes, I was on Ravelry and I was looking through my projects, and it was like, there's another unfinished project, there's another unfinished project, and there was one project where like, I think I ripped that out, and so where I'm not having a stash down, I am having a WIP down. I need to get my unfinished projects either ripped out or actually finished. So the Tunisian blanket, which is here. Now I don't think I said, this is the band, it's based off the Bandwagon blanket by Beth Graham. I know for a fact it's not on Ravelry. You might have it in your library queue if you know how to Tunisian crochet. Modifications that I'm making now. Let's see, this part here, I don't think that's what that is in the pattern. I think that's the only modification that I made. Now on the return pass, Tunisian 3 together, in the forward pass, in the centre of, I'll do it in a colour where you can see, in the centre of the 3 together I do a Tunisian knit stitch, and it's using 4-ply scraps, and I'm using my 4.5 Knit Pro Symphony Tunisian hook. So I'm just going to keep working on that. I do have a lot of sock scraps. As I said in Vlogmas, I think my plan will be to do one full square each colour, and then just mix and match stripes of different colours, and then adding in new colours as I finish off socks and other projects. Now, my next project I started back in is it 2018? It was definitely 2018, because in when is Perth Festival Yarns in September. When I first started podcasting, I'm sure it was in the October, so possibly November, I had started a wrap, because I'd bought mini skeins in 2018 at at Perth Festival of Yarn from Leona at Rusty Ferret. And now I don't have a pattern because I'm getting rid of all my paper patterns. I have a hard drive that stores all my patterns. I use an app on my tablet. Obviously I've got an Apple Pencil, so I can just score off what I've done. I have a folder full. Now, not only do I have the original downloads of the patterns, I've got them as hard copies as well. I don't need both. So, this may possibly come back to bite me on the backside. I'm going to get ready. Unless it's like an original, actual, like King Cole pattern, I'll keep them. But if I've just printed it off, I'm just going to shred it, and Ryan's Worms can have it. So I'll stick a picture in of the next project, and it's the Lamina Wrap by Amber O'Brien. Don't know. Leave a note. And it's using Rusty Ferret yarns. Now, these are my last two sections, so I'll come back to them. Here it is. Now, we'll start at the bottom. This colour here, the main colour is Sandhaven Colin, and all these are Rusty Ferret Doll. Now that's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's 425 metres per 100 grams. Now I might actually have, I do, that's it here. It is seriously bright, love that. Now I've got, that's blush, I think it's actually, Oh no, here's here. That's what we've got left of my first ball. Now, rather than digging about in my bag, I think what I'll do is I'll just use the project and do it in order. So this one, this colour here is, I have no idea. It's not that I don't know what it is, it's actually called I have no idea. The next one, this one here, is Lana Obscura. This one is Ultramarine. This colour here is Deception. This one is Vincent. This one is Plum. Then we have a date proof. This one is Cetus. I'll leave a note down here. That one is Cryptic. This is Space Muffin. This one's Blush. This one's Selkie. That one's Fantastic Adventure. And this one's Vorpal. Now what I've done, that's pretty much halfway on that. So that's pretty much halfway, and all I've done is I've worked it backwards back up. Now I have, so I've got on my hair. Lana Obscura and I have no idea left. Now, where had I got to? Because it was something really, really stupid. I think I was there when I picked it up. I'd literally just done this part and I was there. Now, I only have 5 more sections to go and this is going to be finished. Now obviously I've added in another 3 colours since I picked it up last week, and I've got 2 colours left to put in. This has been sitting for 2 solid years with it being touched. So I'm hoping to get this finished. Look at the ends. So I'm going to have a weaving in party at some point. It is using 4, I don't even know if that is showing up. Nope. Where's my bit? There it's there. Using a 4mm knit prosang. Said it was Lumina wrap, 4mm knit prosangs, 75% super wash merino, 25% nylon, Sandhaven Collins, the main colour, and then a whole load of minis. So I'm loving this. I got a bit confused about what section I was on and done the wrong. In the pattern you've got 2 different sections. You've got a main colour, I think it's main colour A and main colour, no it's not, it's Garter Ridge A and Garter Ridge B or something like that, and then you've got 2 different charts as well. I got a bit confused what chart I finished off, done the completely wrong one, and then last night spent the entire night trying to take it back out. So I've put that back in. So I've got my notebook next to my desk, and while this is doing its thing uploading, I'll make a start on them, and hopefully by next week I will get this out. These were all, now I'm sure the Ultramarine, the Deception, Fantastic Adventure, Blush, Now a weight that I have no idea, and that's a full skein, so that must have came as a mini skein. Idiot proof. I'm sure I bought an idiot proof. Not 100% sure, but I know for a fact the Fantastic Adventure Space Muffin. Right. Fantastic Adventure Blush Space Muffin Deception and Ultramarine. I know for a fact they were leftovers from other projects. Now, what did I use Space Muffin on? I need to go back and check. But they're all leftovers, and the rest are mini skeins that I bought from Leona. Leona very kindly, nearly 3 years ago, told me what each of the colours were, so I knew what I was putting in. So that is that project. My next WIP is the Garter Squish Blanket. This is massive. It's absolutely huge. I've not done much work on this. I'm trying to think, when was the last time I showed this? Might have been on the vlog, and I think I was somewhere around about here. I'm not, since I came across the Lumina wrap, I've not done an awful lot on this. I'm picking it up every now and again when I'm just not wanting to concentrate on stuff. It is massive. It is absolutely massive. It weighs a ton. I'm done 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th colour of 9, 2, 6, 8, 9. I'm on my fourth colour of 9, so I've got another 5 colours to put in. Now this is, as I said, it's Garter Squish by Stephen West. It is holding Arden yarn, Arden acrylic and DK acrylic together. Now we have Robin DK, shade 137, and that one's Melba. This is yarn that I got for Pound Stretchers. It's the bright colours, and I think I said the last time it was teal. It wasn't teal, it's aqua. This is don't know what that is. Woolcraft New Fashion DK, shade 439, and it's apple. This is Robin DK, shade 60. I think it's 60, and it's acid yellow. This is that weird L Family Favourites 9. My memory's getting better. 9, and it's red. This is New Fashion DK 892 in chocolate. This one is Robin DK number 46, and it's pink. This one's sparkly one. Don't know if you'll be able to see. And that's Knitting Essentials. Now I'm sure that's for Poundland or Snow B&M. Can't remember the other one. That's a pound shop. Can I just point out, Mr. Bark tripped my finger in the table. See when I'm weaving? See the amount of times that I'm trying to pick that one wee spot when I'm weaving? Thanks, Ryan. What was I saying? Pound shop, some sort of pound shop, navy sparkle, whatever one does the knitting essentials. It might actually be Poundland. Could be Poundland. Next one is Pound Stretchers, Bright Colours, 220, and it's purples. And it's been done on, if I ever find the top of this blanket. It's number 8, Knit Prosans. I'm just going to keep working on it. Oh, I've made the right pig's ear of this. I'm just going to keep working on this as and when. I need to fold it up because I tried to pick it up earlier on and found a cat in it. So Els quite likes that. I think what I'm going to do is... Do you like my t-shirt? Well, I remember. Mr. Bark bought me that for my Christmas. I like this t-shirt. There's a theme. He also bought me a nice tote bag. Look! These sheep! So I think what I'm going to do... It's quite big. Have absolutely no idea where I bought it from. So I'm going to stick this in there and stop cats for taking up residency in my knitting. Next project is the Breckening spin. I'm still working on that, not as much since I got the loom, mostly because my bedroom's been freezing. As much as I can put my heating up full bung, that bedroom is apparently like Siberia, so I've not really worked on my spinning as much. I'm still working away on it. I'll stick a photo in. I have started the second bobbin and I think I've got about 2, possibly 3 nests left to work on. It is 300 grams of the Breckening by John Urban Textiles, and I'm spinning it the wrong way apparently, so I'll keep working on that. My final WIP is the scarf for Ryan's uncle. Now again, I'll stick a picture in because this house is not big enough to have everything all set up. It is worked using Drops Baby Merino, shade 43 in light sea green. That's 100% merino wool. It is 175 metres per 50 gram ball, and I've actually used 315 metres of that. The weft is Rusty Ferret Doll in the colourway Squished Corby. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and you get 425 metres per 100 grams. Now, I did wrap my yarn to do a wraps per inch, and it says that I needed a 10 whatever heddle, so that's what I'm using. Off the top of my head, I can't actually remember how long I made it. Someone's telling me it was like 60 odd inches, so I'm just going to keep weaving until that's done. I did feel slightly guilty, obviously. I knew Ashley would come back looking amazing. I didn't realise just how amazing she would come back. It's not just looking amazing, she smells brilliant as well. The running joke we have with Ryan's aunt and uncle is every Christmas, 9 times out of 10 we buy each other the same biscuits. When we used to go visiting, they would always have different cakes and biscuits and stuff, and I don't know how we got into the subject of border biscuits. I think they brought out a new kind and Ryan had asked what they were, and we literally left her, and she stays like down the road for us a bit, so we left her house and drove straight to Asda's, bought biscuits, came back, and Ryan emailed them, was like, bought biscuits, Auntie Gracie. So we try every year to get a pack of border biscuits. Now I've got them sitting here to send through. And obviously we bought her them for Christmas. No, these ones, because obviously no, these specific ones, because obviously I gave her Christmas biscuits. But when we dropped Ashley off, she had mentioned that she's only got 1 or 2 left. So I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll buy her some more border biscuits as a thank you. Got Ashley back and felt really guilty because you can tell a lot of work's went into her and she's looking. So I'm going to weave Jim a scarf and I'll weave Gracie a scarf as well, but I'll speak about that in a minute. So that's all my WIPs. How much of them I'll get done by next week, I don't know. I'm obviously the Tunisian blanket, that isn't going to be finished anytime soon. Garter swish blanket, there's still quite a lot. On that note, I'm up to the modification for that pattern. I don't think I'm supposed to be doing as many repeats as what I'm doing. I'm doing like 22 repeats. And I think I was only supposed to do something like 6 or 12. So the blanket's going to be huge, so there's no chance of that being finished for next week. The spinning, it's a lot milder this morning, so there's every chance that I could sit and spin later on. And Jim's scarf, I done 29 inches of weaving yesterday. I'm giving myself a break today because I did have a bit of a sore neck when I went to bed last night. So we'll just see what will get finished next week. On to lined up. Andrew's milkman's hat. And then that'll be the last one of them I ever do. That's going to be using the Heritage DK that I've got here, and obviously the 3mm knit pro zings. Gracie's scarf. Arya, quiet. Right, go lie down. Gracie's scarf I've also talked about. As I mentioned before, I need to get my WIPs down. So the plan will be, I am not casting on any more new projects until I finish the WIPs that I've got sitting. I have a test. That was a test. The Step Up Shawl, I'll stick a picture in. Step Up Shawl by AK Laurie Designs. Now, this is another one of these projects where I think I've only got a band to finish. Now, I had to pull out of that test because I hurt my wrist. And it was one of the things where when my wrist's better I'll get back to it, and then it completely went out of my head. Did I go back to it? No, it is now sitting in my cubby. And I think there's only like a few more rows to put on it. If there is one more repeat to put on it, it'll be a miracle. So that's next on the list to getting finished. Once I finish the Lamina wrap, I'm wanting to get that shawl finished because there is absolutely no excuse why that's still sitting. The Stree socks by Lara Nell, they got put on the back burner when I started the Christmas socks, which still haven't been finished. Next project's the Spring Blossom Shawl by Kylie Hall, who's Home on 15 Acres. Now, I won the pattern and the yarn that I'm using in that pattern last year from Leslie, who is Not Quite Enough Yarn. Quite Enough Yarn? I'll leave details. I think it might be, I'm sure it's Not Quite Enough Yarn. She does a slash down with Barbara from the brain's starting to switch off, can you tell? Fibre Podcast, and it's a used stash for the year before. Now, I done it all year and I won the prize, which was quite a bit of yarn and lots of lovelies. Now, I started that not long after I won it, and it's still sitting. That's half finished. Now that's using the U Fairy from Rosie's Knitting Shed, and this was like, couldn't have been any more apt if it tried. Being woken every morning by seagulls. At that point, I don't think it had got it as bad at that point, because I think he'd disappeared. Every summer, my neighbour feeds seagulls. Now, despite the fact that everybody keeps telling her it's illegal to feed seagulls, apparently she's been feeding this seagull for years and it keeps coming back. Now, we had to rearrange our bedroom. When we moved in, the only place the bed could go was right in front of the window. I've had to literally move a radiator to get my bed to fit in away from the window, because one of these, during the summer, one morning I'm going to literally have a seagull flying in my house. This thing will hammer on the window for you to feed it. Now, I'm all for feeding birds. Have absolutely no problem feeding birds. Pigeons is about as low as I go. I am not feeding seagulls now. Was it last summer? Don't know if it was last summer, but it was definitely the summer before. We had my niece, we were in the garden, we'd gone to the garden centre and bought you know what had happened? I think Andrew had gave her money and Ryan topped the money up so she could buy plants because she wanted to plant a garden. So Ryan dug the ground for her. I took her to the garden centre, we bought plants that she wanted and brought them home. So we'd sat and we'd planted them up. Apologies. Now I'm going to take a picture so you can see why the table's shaking. Darren, I'll stick that in there. Don't know, you might actually be able to see. The cat is in my box. That might be about that order. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, so that couldn't have been any more up tried. And the last project that I really need done is another test knit that I kept mucking up, and that's the Rincon shawl by AK Laurie Designs. Now I've completely ripped this one right back, and it's just a case of restarting it again, and with any luck doing it as the pattern is written and not making it up as I go along, which I did during the test. Not once, not twice, 3 times. And on the 3rd attempt I was like, no, I'm done. This clearly isn't working, isn't it? I would like to point out, it's not that Laurie's pattern was not written exceptionally clearly. I don't know why I made the same mistake 3 separate times, but you're talking I'd done a chunk and then had to rip it all back. And I was like, I'm over it. So I'm really, really want to get that finished. So that is it. I'm very hungry. I need to phone back because I think that is Knit Nottingham about my order. Either that or some random. Now, what I would say, I am not going to have a contact page on my website. If you know me, you will have my mobile number. I am on Ravelry, I'm on Instagram, I am on Facebook. You can contact me on all of them. I had at one point my email and my mobile number on the website. I don't know why I decided that it would be a very clever idea to stick my mobile number on the internet. I'm getting inundated by randos phoning me up about garbage. I had one guy trying to convince me to sell something stupid. That was a lovely message. He got dinged. What was the other thing? I got an email from somebody and I was like, and I emailed them back and I was like, how did you get my email address? And it was like, oh, I got it off. No, actually, in the email it said, I got it off your website. And it was like, great, why are you contacting me? Because, like, seriously, if I was ever interested in using your products or advertising your products, I would contact you. It has zero to do with knitting, crafting, or anything. Go bolt. I think that might have actually been a scam, but they got told to bolt. So I've taken that off. If you do need to contact me, Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, might actually open a thread on the group with, I'll do it on both groups about how to contact me. What I would say, if you're a member of the private group on the website and you download the Wix app, that I'm pretty sure comes straight through to my iPad. I think that's about it. I am going to make a cup of tea. I'm going to open the blinds. And I'm away to watch my birds. I need to watch Pierce Pigeon. Pierce Pigeon's getting a wee bit too big for his wings. He keeps chasing with other wee birds. I had a squirrel. That was slightly hilarious. It climbed up the pole, climbed on to the peanut feeder. The peanut feeder twists and it fell off. Normally I am not as mean to nature, but I dare say that is the same squirrel that decided to chew through my telephone cable and left us with no internet for days and cut my phone off. So no, I'm not feeding you peanuts because you ate my phone cable. You be weirdo. So that is it. I am rambling nonsense. I'm away to have a carrot cake slice and get this uploaded. It's 2:05. I'll probably need to record the end of Vlogmas tomorrow. I'm feeling slightly tired. I only have a couple of hours to get this edited. Tonight is craft night, so the boys will be doing craft, so I won't get a chance to record it later on. So I'll do that tomorrow. Sorry for all the edits, that's probably because I've been rambling nonsense. Enter the make-alongs. And thank you again to Jane for entering, and congratulations for winning. I would like to say, actually, because I meant to say it at the beginning, might have actually said it, don't actually remember, but I would like to thank Jane, Raylene and Heather for their support during Vlogmas. Mr. Bark thinks he's a comedy genius. We always know. We'll just agree with him. Yous are all my witnesses. Mr. Bark did turn around and say during the question and answer session he was not interested in crafting. Yous all heard him. It's on video. I have proof. I had to fight to get my loom off from yesterday. I can't even remember what I'd said, and he was like, oh, actually no. I was like, you want me to take that back? And he's like, I can actually see me when you get your wee loom, me sitting with my headphones on, listening to music, weaving away. I was like, over my dead body. Dude, leave my crafts. Now I've already got my son who has started Tunisian Crochet. I'll be sitting watching a podcast or watching a telly programme, and the next thing my phone is pinging something silly with, should I crochet this, should I crochet that? I don't care what you crochet, it's your crochet time, do as you please. I was going to say I'm not your mum. Kinda are your mum. Yes, I am your mum. I don't tell you what to do, unless you're about to do something that I don't agree with, then I'll tell you what to do. So Mr. Bark has decided that I may have to fight him for my new loom. We'll see how that goes. What I will say, Raylene, I have not forgotten. It is there. I just forgot to post it. I haven't forgotten. I did forget. It's there. It's done. Will I go to the post office? Might need to get Mr. Bark. I'll get it parcelled all up, and I'll get Mr. Bark to post it for me tomorrow when he goes to work. But I will let you know the minute it's been posted. So thank you very much. Again, I hope you have a lovely crafty week, and I'll see you all again next week.